George Cooper, The Origin of Financial Crises, Central Banks, Credit Bubbles, and the Efficient Market Fallacy. Get ready to delve into the fascinating world of financial crises, as we explore George Cooper's book, The Origin of Financial Crises, Central Banks, Credit Bubbles, and the Efficient Market Fallacy. This summary will guide you through the crucial flaws in the efficient market hypothesis, EMH, which is the prevailing theory used by central banks, governments, and businesses. By demonstrating the inconsistencies of EMH and highlighting the alternative ideas of John Maynard Keynes, the book aims to offer solutions to prevent the cascading effects of economic bubbles and improve the monitoring of credit growth. Discover the importance of adjusting macroeconomic policies and learn how central banks can play a crucial role in stabilizing financial markets.
Inefficient markets and the global debt crisis. The global debt crisis witnessed in recent times is a result of the inefficient market hypothesis, a flawed model that has led to disastrous economic dislocations. The belief that markets left to work on their own will reach equilibrium and any attempt to shape them will only make them less efficient has led governments, businesses, and even private citizens to take on debt at cosmic levels. The markets, however, are not efficient, as evident from the exorbitant prices of rare art that rise even further with increasing demand. The collapse of the credit bubble in 2008 and 2009 was a direct consequence of this flawed hypothesis, and its widespread impact has made it clear that monetary policy, as practiced over the years, has failed. While the proponents of the hypothesis blame it on rare circumstances causing such events, the truth is that their statistical models are flawed. The financial instability hypothesis presents a better alternative, which suggests that markets are inherently unstable. Governments and central banks play a vital role in managing aspects of their economies, and their intervention is necessary for financial stability. The use of fiat money, currency that has value because the government issuing it says it does, backed only by the full faith and credit of the issuing government, has further complicated matters. Therefore, a complete overhaul of the regulatory framework is essential, and these reforms are required at both the national and international level. The dangers of government-induced inflation. Governments play a major role in the creation of inflation, which destroys the value of savings and slows economic activity. Extreme cases of inflation, known as hyperinflation, can cause societal instability. Private economic activity rarely causes inflation due to competition and consumer substitution. Central banks, in their conflicting objectives of keeping prices stable and promoting economic growth, pose a challenge to the efficient market hypothesis and the public's patience for rebalancing the economy. Detecting financial bubbles. The efficient market hypothesis, EMH, argues that free markets adapt to supply and demand changes and find optimal prices. However, this argument falls apart when it comes to financial assets because banks can create money at will. Changes to underlying financial conditions can affect the value of assets behind certificates of deposits. EMH proponents argue that asset price bubbles or busts have no place in their model, even though there are internal and external economic forces that can destabilize markets, undermining EMH's fundamental claims. Experts recommend monitoring the credit growth and asset prices simultaneously to detect any signs of an oncoming financial bubble. If an asset appreciates more than the income it generates and lending is cheap and easy, this signals an unsustainable bubble, probably caused by overly rapid credit creation. Dampening the economy. London's Millennium Bridge faced wobbliness issues, which were resolved by adding dampers to counteract the vibrations. The economy, unlike the bridge, is a more significant problem that lacks a single response frequency. To deal with the inflation and aftereffects of bubbles, James Clerk Maxwell's approach of using feedback from the economy itself can be useful for central banks. They can use credit creation variables to dampen bubbles, reducing their impact. Central banks need to keep an eye on credit creation and not only focus on consumer price inflation to create a robust dampening system. Mandelbrot's challenge to the efficient market hypothesis. According to Benoit Mandelbrot, creator of fractal geometry, financial markets do not conform to the efficient market hypothesis. He believes there's a memory effect that causes prices to repeat recent patterns. However, this doesn't explain the extreme, fat tails of their distribution curves. Hyman Minsky proposes that stable markets trigger instability due to the creation of debt loads. Furthermore, the recent economic crisis exposed flaws in measurements that managers use to make financial decisions. The mark-to-market rules reinforced negative aspects of asset price rises, leaving investors and bankers unprepared for sudden changes. The assumption that prices are random, as promoted by EMH, leaves everyone vulnerable to unforeseen market dislocations. The book claims that the last few hundred years of economic growth are exceptional when compared to hundreds of thousands of years of stagnation. This failure to recognize feedback during good times creates future instability which borrowers and lenders cannot predict. Rethinking economic theories. This book challenges the efficient market hypothesis, EMH, and calls for its replacement with the financial instability hypothesis, FIH, of Minsky, Maxwell, and Mandelbrot. The FIH proposes a more rigorous testing of economic theories to predict future conditions. The author contends that floods of debt and inflationary pressures led to the present economic crisis, and stringent government oversight of the economy is necessary. The U.S. needs to abandon its faith in market efficiency, monitor and govern the rate of credit creation, and construct stricter budgets to avoid deficit spending. Although inflation may be unpalatable, it is the best solution as the U.S. works toward a better, sounder macroeconomic policy.
As we wrap up this transformative journey into the realm of financial crises, we come to understand the destructive effects of subscribing to the efficient market hypothesis, and the importance of adopting alternative theories, such as Minsky's financial instability hypothesis. To prevent economic disasters like the one experienced in 2008, policymakers and central banks need to focus on credit growth, manage debt creation, and implement robust oversight procedures that prioritize economic stability. By refining macroeconomic policies to bring them in line with an improved understanding of credit markets, central banks can better manage boom and bust cycles, encouraging sustainable and responsible economic growth. The time is now for change, and realigning our beliefs about market efficiency is the first step towards a more stable and prosperous global economy.